And you know, when you go deep, obviously the deeper you go, normally. Excuse me. Focus.
Welcome to Agents of Screen, the first and only place to come to for movie reviews live at the cinema. We have just finished watching 21 Bridges, which is produced by the Russo brothers, who are most famous, of course, for the Avenger movies, starring Chadwick Boseman, who you also know from the MCU. But what is our first impressions of the film? I can't lie, from the trailer for this film, I wasn't optimistic at all. It looked quite trash. I was like, even as you guys know, I wasn't really looking forward to today, but I was very pleasantly surprised with the film. I'm glad I came to watch it. I was engaged throughout. I thought it was a good film. Why are you smiling like that? Every time I articulate my opinion, you seem to smile.
You make me smile. You just make me smile. I look forward to these occasions. I look forward to these times we spend together. Man, you make me smile. Thanks. Let's just go.
First impressions.
Pleasantly surprised. I had no expectation because I hadn't seen the trailer. My expectations going into the film was kind of coming off of your reaction from the trailer, saying they weren't really feeling it. Just knew the Russos had involvement with the film, which they produced. But yeah, pleasantly surprised. I thought it was very enjoyable.
Adam, what about you?
Yeah, do you know what? So I did see the trailer, and I also saw Boseman on, I think it was Graham Norton show, talking about it. And I remember thinking, oh my days, please don't make me go and watch this film. Honestly, it looks so trash. But I've come away and I liked it. I genuinely liked the movie. It was a good movie.
We had our first impressions already. What did we enjoy about the film? Aaron, what did you enjoy?
It's kind of weird. There's not anything straight away that I kind of like the pace of the film. Stephan James' character, Michael, I thought he was really good in the film. I didn't expect him to have a big role. I thought they would have done the job, tried to rob something, get killed, and then side character. Yeah. But yeah, pleasantly surprised at how that turned out. Just overall, I thought it was a good film. I said there's nothing kind of specific that kind of like jumps to mind. It's not like, yeah.
What about you, Adam? Do you have anything specific that you want to point out that you enjoyed?
I really enjoyed the visuals throughout, like the tone of the movie. Obviously, it's set during a late night, so from 1 a.m. through to 5 a.m. So obviously it's dark, it's nighttime, early morning. Sorry, but I did enjoy the visuals, the way they done the tone. And this might sound a bit weird, yeah, but I really enjoyed the sound effects.
Yeah,
like all the gunshots, all the crashes, all the clicks, all the little neck clicks. And I thought, yeah, they've done that really well.
The first punch that someone received, you could feel like,
yeah, you did feel it.
Crisp.
You did feel it,
The
yeah.
sound mastering or mixing or however you call it, the gunshot sounded like real.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that. Yeah, that was good. That's what I enjoyed about the movie.
Okay.
And also like the fact that it was shot in Gotham.
Yeah, what was Batman the whole movie?
I was waiting for him. I was waiting for him, bro.
Because it was the whole film was done in like what, over about 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. So maybe just by the time they got the bat signal out, it was already.
Maybe he was giving Selena Kyle the halal meats.
I was gonna say.
I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
We speaking of like the vibe of the film, it kind of reminded me of one of those kind of old school detective kind of movies. I haven't seen one of those in quite a while. Kind of reminds me of old school Denzel Washington movies like Inside Man or Man on Fire. Big films.
Big film, Inside Man.
Yeah. Did you like Inside Man? Is Inside Man something that you enjoy? Fair enough. But yeah, it kind of reminded me. That reminded me of that kind of old school vibe. Reminded me of the old school vibe. So throughout the entire film, you're kind of guessing, okay, who's the dirty cop or what's happening, who's in on it, who's not in on it. You kind of doubt yourself with certain things, but I enjoyed that about the film. As Adam said, the sound, I know that's something that we don't really look to. But it did catch my attention.
Yeah, first time I think we've mentioned it in the review, the actual sound effects.
Yeah. And obviously we spoke about Stephan James. I thought Boseman was quite good in it as well. Yeah, he has lost weight. He's always been quite slim though.
Yeah, he's definitely. Come on, like gaunt. Yeah, he looked gaunt. He looked, but you could see he looked proper slim. Like think about.
Or was he watching man like down?
No, just slim. Like slim.
But yeah, because I was kind of worried, even though I've seen Boseman in other films apart from Black Panther, when you have that's his biggest commercial hit, for you could get to like typecast, and you can't really see him as anything but that. But I think he done well. Off that point, the Black Panther point, you know, I didn't want to mention Black Panther too much in this, and it's not a spoiler, but there's a scene where someone's chasing someone else.
Okay.
And it's kind of reminiscent of like Black Panther chasing Captain America and Bucky Barnes in the tunnel. And I felt that brings me to our point as the action sequences, as the pivotal action sequence, I felt was a very good sequence. It was shot well, intense. They were sprinting, not quite Tom Cruise levels of sprinting.
Bro, he was winging.
He was proper.
He was winging. There was like there was he had like different levels because he was kind of. And that kind of steady pace, and he kind of
and that kind of reminded me of Black Panther again, because you know when Black Panther's sprinting, he's looking like he's ducking down cars and all of that, so he's looking like he's moving at some different pace. So Adam, what did you dislike about the film, if anything?
Yeah, it's good. You know, the main thing I disliked about the movie was, although I thought it did a good job of keeping me interested, you know, it built tension quite slowly, I thought the film was real predictable. Very early on, I clocked who the main villains was, so to speak, if you want to call them villains. Not really villain, but it was just obvious. So that, the predictability for me was its biggest downfall.
Okay. Did you feel like it ruined your experience at all? Or?
No, I wouldn't say it ruined it, because I still enjoyed the way it unfolded.
Okay.
And there's another thing I didn't like about the movie. You know, there's one scene in particular where it's not really a spoiler, but they get flashed by a camera. Yeah. If that doesn't happen, well.
Does the movie not take place?
Exactly. Doesn't movie? You know.
It's one of them things.
Yeah.
Well, on your point, it's one of those things. I think there's a few points in the movie where some events take place and you're thinking, that's a bit of a reach. You know, sometimes in action films, some are worse than others, of course, but they get away with things that you're not usually able to get away with for the sake of the storyline progressing. So
I hear you, but I think, to be fair, I don't think there was any action in this film where I thought, that's just too unrealistic. That would just never happen.
Okay, that's
I think everything was believable.
Okay, fair enough.
Apart from the way man was sprinting like that, he was winging.
Well, I'll have you know, some black people are very fast.
Just some?
Some.
Not all?
It'll be funny if we can include the race between Daryl and James right now.
You ready, yeah? Alright. When I put my hand down, yeah?
Here's an example. But is there anything that you didn't enjoy about the film?
I mean, I probably got a couple nitpicks more so than things I didn't really like. First one is really minor, but it's like, okay, so again, within the first 5-10 minutes of the film, the opening kind of sequence, did that many people turn out for an officer? For an officer's funeral? Yeah, I just thought when they showed the over, it was like hundreds, and I was kind of waiting to see, right, he must be some high-ranking officer, but he wasn't really, from what I could tell. So I thought that was a bit odd. Also, again, nitpick more so than something I didn't like about the film. Narcotics officer. I just kept looking at her and thinking, why the hell didn't they just get Kate Beckinsale? I don't understand. She just looked like.
Let's Sienna Miller.
Is that Miller? Yeah. Bruh. Look, I just couldn't. I don't know. Maybe it was the accent, or I don't know, man.
She's trying to appear like a New York and
but
it was kind of
bits. But then I was
and when she was moving with the gun, sometimes she looked a bit unconvincing. When she was going through the doorways and all of that, she looked a bit weird.
I didn't clock that. She was like this and she went to the door.
Yeah, it's
that one time.
You should get training, isn't it?
I'm thinking, is that real? Is that legit?
Me personally, I didn't have much. To be honest with you, I would have to really comb through in my mind to find something glaring. You already mentioned the predictability aspect of it. I can agree with that, but I didn't think it didn't ruin my experience at all. But if there's anything else that you wanted to share in terms of dislikes,
you mentioned a bit earlier on about Inside Man and how how good that film was, and how this reminded you of sort of like classic detective movies like that. I think if you compare this to a film like Inside Man, I don't think it quite hits that level. I really enjoy a good intense thriller. And
I wasn't saying that, by the way.
So what was you saying?
It reminded me of it. I'm not comparing it.
Oh no. Okay, that's cool. So what I'm saying is, it just wasn't quite deep enough for me. Like the big reveal at the end, if you like, wasn't quite big enough. It wasn't that surprising. It wasn't that sort of intense, and it wasn't deep enough. Listen, that's the thing. It's difficult to say without spoiling it, you know. And you know, when you go deep, obviously the deeper you go, normally, excuse me, focus. Obviously, the deeper you go, usually, you know, you gotta go a bit harder, because you go deeper, it's more hard work. You just need to keep pounding through it, basically, and eventually you'll get where you need to get to. You'll hit that wall, yeah. Okay, well, once you've hit that wall, and then you know you come to the conclusion, and everyone just relaxes, and it's, you know, you get to the end, basically. Yeah.
Speaking of deep and conclusions, let's get into our scores. Let's, you know, wrap it up. You know, we've spoken about it long enough. You know, some of the comments, I don't know if it's trolling or not, but I'm gonna come to you first. How are you gonna score?
Me, touched. So look, like I said in the review, I didn't expect much from this. You know, seeing the trailer, Graham Norton show, you know, I thought it was gonna be trash. But I came out, I enjoyed the movie. You know, I enjoyed it throughout. I thought the pace was good. I would have liked a few more twists and turns, but even though if I was gonna say, do you have to go cinema to watch it? Probably not. I'm gonna actually score this film a 7 out of 10.
Aaron, how would you summarize and score how would you score this?
Echoing some of what Adam said. Good pace throughout. Good performances as well from pretty much all of the cast in the film. If you're into those kind of, I guess, like cop drama, action movies, I'd recommend watching it. Would I say rush out and go see it at the cinema? Not necessarily, but it's worth a watch. It's a good film. So with that said, I'd give it a 7.
So I'm not going to repeat everything I said. I enjoyed the film. Should you go watch it? If it's a bit different in terms of what's out in cinemas right now, or has been coming out recently. Cop, thriller, detectives. It was kind of refreshing for me personally to see it. I was engaged throughout. I thought it was a good film. I enjoyed it. Without going back into what I already liked and disliked, I'm going to give this film a 7.5. Yeah, 7.5. I enjoyed it. So that being said, thank you for joining us yet again. Have you seen 21 Bridges, or are you going to see 21 Bridges? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, make sure you like, share and subscribe for all our latest content. Thank you for watching again. I have been Miles.
Been your boy Adam.
Been Aaron.
Yes, we have been the Agents of Screen. And until the next video, peace.